Hi guys!
Today we are in Veragua Rain Forest and we're gonna talk about the pollinating organisms and all the process that they have to do to pollinate. Pollinating organisms. Pollination is one of the most important parts for plant reproduction. Plants and pollinators have physical characteristics that make them more likely to interact successfully in the pollination process. There are many types of pollinating organisms. For example, birds, bats, butterflies, moths, flies, beetles, and the most important one, the bees. With the bees, flower nectar provides bees with the sugar to fuel their flights. The proteins and amino acids in pollen are vital nutrients needed by young bees. Bees are not picky and frequently besiege a large variety of flowers. Beetles. Beetles are referred to as mess and soil pollinators. Less elegant than other pollinators, beetles blunder their way through delicate blossoms searching for food, a mate, or perhaps the bathroom. Frequently visit magnolias and flowers close to the ground. Butterflies. Butterflies often visit round flowers with flared petals that lead to narrow throats that conceal nectar. Frequently visit salvias and sunflowers. Bats. Plants that are pollinated by bats often have pale nocturnal flowers. While other pollinators are usually pollinating during the daytime, the flowers that are pollinated by bats are often large and bell-shaped. Some bats have evolved specifically to reach the nectar at the bottom of them. And of course, also are other types of pollinators, for example, wine and water. With the wine, not all pollination relies on animals. Wine pollinates grains, moss nuts, many trees, and the wild grasses that provide forage for livestock. And also, plants can self-pollinate, meaning that their own pollen fertilizes the plant. This can happen when pollen travels from the stamens to the ovule within a closed flower. However, most plants are cross-pollinating, meaning they need pollen from another plant of the same type to be fertilized.
Pollination process. How do plants pollinate? A huge part of flowers plants are pollinated by insects and other animals. Pollination process. How do plants pollinate? A huge part of flowers plants are pollinated by insects and other animals, but also could be used abiotic pollen vectors. Mainly wine, but also there are other agents that function as pollinating agents. Bees, butterflies, beetles, and moths can all carry pollen from flowers to flower. For example, bees may bite anthers to shake pollen out, or butterflies may use their proboscises to attract nectar from flowers. As the insects visit flowers, they brush against the anthers and collect pollen on their bodies. When they visit another flower, the pollen is transferred to the stigma. Other animals, birds, and bats can also carry pollen. Other pollinating agents, like flowers, must rely on vectors to move pollen. These vectors can include wine, water, birds, insects, and other animals. The animals or insects that transfer pollen from plants to plant are called pollinators. The pollinator is often eating or collecting pollen for its protein, and other nutritional characteristics, or it is sipping nectar from the flower when pollen grains attach themselves to the animal's body. When the animal visits another flower for the same reason, pollen can fall off into the flower's stigma and may result in successful reproducing for the flower. Importance for plant reproduction. Sexual reproduction requires genetic material DNA from two parents. The parent plants have male and female sex cells, called gameters. The genetic material from the male and female gametes combines to produce offspring. We call this process fertilization. The product of sexual reproduction are seeds. Seeds reproduced through fertilization contains genetic material from both parents. As a result, the offspring are not genetically identical to either of the parents' plants. That's why the plant reproduction is so important, because flowers contain male sex organs called stamens and female sex organs called pistils. The anther is the part of the stamen that contains pollen. Pollen contains the male gametes. Pollen must be moved to a part of the pistil called the stigma for reproduction to take place.
Dearth and conservation. Many pollinator populations are theirs via habitat degradation and fermentation. Pollution, pesticides, pests, pathogens, and changes in the land use and climate change have been associated with shrinking and shifting pollinator population, particularly insect pollinators. The insecticides, herbicides, and pesticides are an important agent that cause different problems for the pollinator. For example, when a pollinator consumes a plant with pesticides, it can't die. Some pesticides can also have sublethal effects on pollinators, such as impairing their learning, foraging, and homing abilities, or reducing their immune response. A new article has found that climate change is a prominent. There are two pollinators such as bumbles, wasps, and butterflies who are essential for biodiversity conservation, crop yields, and food security. Urban infestation, chemicals, climate change, and increased honey-bee colony densities are negative effects urban pollinators. Maintaining good areas of habitat for pollinators, such as those found in alum-themed community gardens and domestic gardens, and improving management approach in urban green space and heavily urbanized areas.